Hello, I'm Mark, and we are in the Nevada Northern Rail Yard in Ewing, Nevada. And this entire rail yard is a National Historic Landmark. And one of the largest buildings on the property is the R.I.P. building, or the R.I.P. building. So what do you think R.I.P. stands for? Let's go explore and find out. The term R.I.P. does not stand for rest in peace. During the day, it stood for repair in progress. The ore cars led a very tough life. And you can see on the side of car 1019 there, our copper ore is really crappy. It is only 1% copper. And so if you have a ton of ore, 99% of that ore is crap or waste. They would load the ore up at the mine at Ruth and then take it across the valley to McGill, where the mill and the smelter was. This ore, if they loaded it in November or December, they'd load it with big steam shovels. They'd fill up the car if it snowed or something, and here the sun would come out and the snow would melt. They'd take the car across the valley, and boy howdy, they get the car over to McGill, and guess what? This ore is frozen inside the car. So how do we get the ore out of the car when it's frozen solid? They used the invention of Alfred Nobel. Mr. Nobel of the Nobel Peace Prize invented dynamite. And so those patches on the side of 1019 there, what they would do is drop sticks of dynamite into the copper ore, boom! And it'd loosen up the ore and would also blow a hole in the side of the car. This really torqued the railroad off. We have correspondence from the railroad to the mill and the smelter saying, don't put holes in our cars. Well, they did put holes in the cars, and so the cars would come here at the R.I.P. and the cars would be repaired in place, hence R.I.P. In the late 1940s, they built this structure, and the car shop foreman at the time was a gentleman by the name of John Mariani. As you can see, this is a very long building. The other cool thing about the building are all of these huge windows. Those windows do two things. They put natural light inside of the building, and we are in a desert, so it actually heats the inside of the building too. During the day, R.I.P. stood for repair in place. We have changed it a little bit, and we call it restoration in progress. And you'll be able to see when we go in there some of the different projects that we're restoring. The R.I.P. building is actually one of the contributing buildings for our National Historic Landmark status. And on the inside there, it does have an overhead crane, which is a tremendous help. This building is dedicated to the memory and service of Art Cahill. He went from callboy to master mechanic, and he worked here from 1918 to 1964. Alrighty, let's go inside. The floor here is just the original dirt floor, and a lot of the tools are still here that they use during the day, and we use them too, such as these jacks right here. And this is one of my favorite pieces. This is a welder. Doesn't that just look heavy duty? This is one of the wheels to one of the locomotives, and you'll notice on the big gear there has a piece of wood over it, and then on the axle here, the axle is also covered in wood. The reason for this is this wheel has been refurbished, and what they did is it's basically brand new wheels on it, and so that big gear there connects to the traction motor, and that's what pushes the locomotive down the track. This is Caboose 3. Caboose 3 was delivered right here in 1909, and Caboose 3 is very unusual. It has what we call swing bolstered trucks underneath it. The idea is the trucks would absorb the bumps going down the track and make the ride nice for the crew inside. And the other thing is Caboose 3 was delivered with a side door, and eventually that was taken out and it was just made whole. So we keep Caboose 3 stored in here because of her age, and the high desert is not kind to antique cars, but we can go inside and take a peek. This was essentially the office for the conductor, and this is the conductor's table right here. Unfortunately, his original chair is missing, but his lamp is still there. What the crew here did is they rode up in the cupola there, and they could watch the entire train. And what they're looking for is anything dragging or smoke. And so from up here, they could see the train. And then if they saw something and they needed to stop the train, they could pull that up. That would release the air from the train line, and the train would come to a stop. And the Caboose is ready to roll. In the cupboards, we have tools. There we go. That's a brake club and a switch broom. Oh, the conductor's seat. We'll have to get that fixed. I didn't realize that was in there. Cool. You know, I've been here for 23 years, and it never ceases to amaze me. I think I know where everything is, and then, boy howdy, got a discovery like this. And so where that goes is right over here. There's the base. And then also over here, the box of coal for the coal stove right there. And this is a brake club, and it's for Caboose 3, and you can see it's been used. So if I wanted to take this handbrake off, I can't. So what I do is take my handy dandy brake club in here, and now I have a big lever, and I can pull this towards me, kick off the dog, and release the handbrakes. And if you want your very own Nevada Northern Railway brake club, we have them for sale in our gift shop. Yeah, they're handy to have about. We also have a journal box hook to go through and open up the journal boxes. And we have a smaller brake club, oil can there. Here's an original clipboard, Nevada Northern Railway Company, conductor's report, delivered cars, the whole bit. Still waiting here for the next train. And of course, if you're back here, what do you need? Coffee. And that sits on top of the cook stove. This is the ice box, and we have water in there. The crews would be out all day, so they would have food in here, perishables, and they would cook them on the cook stove or back there. These are the car bearings I was talking about. They could replace it en route, and this sits like this. This is bronze, and This is Babbitt right here, and that rides on top of the axle. So they could jack up the car and replace the bearing if they had to. This is a fuse box and also a torpedo box. And the fuse is not an electrical fuse, it's a fusee. It's about yay long, about that big around. And you'd light it and use it for markers and the whole bit. Highway flares, if you can find them now. Yeah, the other thing is torpedoes. Okay, so they don't have radios. So if your train is blocking the track, how do you notify the train behind you that you're blocking the track? You got no radios. So what they did is they took these torpedoes, and a torpedo was about that big around, rectangular, and had some soft legs on it, and you'd go down and you would put them on the rail. And when the locomotive hit these torpedoes, bang! And it would wake up the crew, go, oh, what's happening? And they would eventually stop the whole bit. So, and we still have torpedoes. They still appear around here. All right, I'll tell you what, let's continue our exploration. The other thing we have in the R.I.P building, and again, it's restoration in progress, is locomotive 3. And locomotive 3 is probably the world's ugliest locomotive. See the rivet line there? Rivet line's about the same height as the tank. This is called a tank locomotive. It does not have a tender like our other locomotives. It just has that tank, and in that tank they carried oil for the fire and water for the steam. That cab should be no taller than the tank, and then the stack was no taller than the tank. So essentially locomotive 3, its actual number is 309, was a brick on 4 wheels. It was used up at McGill to switch inside the plant. Also stored in the R.I.P is locomotive 81. Obviously that's not a steam locomotive. And then another restoration project. It's a refrigerator car. You can see how thick the walls are here. And so our goal is to restore this car and actually use it for interpretation of how produce was transferred across the country. This is Caboose 15. Caboose 15 was actually built right here in the Nevada Northern Railway shops. And what she was used for was for the ore trains. The vast majority of our traffic went from Ruth to McGill and back again. We also have a velocipede in here, or a hand car, and we do bring this out periodically, and you get to pump yourself down the rails. And then behind us here is the Steptoe Valley Flyer, and this car is an RPO car. It's baggage RPO. RPO stands for Railway Post Office, and you could come in, drop your letter here. Behind this wall is a post office. The mail would be canceled, and away you go. I hope you enjoyed this tour of the R.I.P building. Remember, during the day, it was repair in place. Today, we call it restoration in progress. And to do these restoration projects, we depend on our members and donors. So if you like what we're doing here, by all means, like and subscribe to this video and become a member of the Nevada Northern Railway Museum. And your contributions will go to getting Caboose 15 back on the rails on its own wheels.